Hi, Marie. I'm here. And hopefully everybody can hear me. You could give me a thumbs up or let me know. Okay, so I cannot see the chat. Let me see. Oh, yes, I'm seeing it now. Yay! Sound is good. Thank you, Bailey. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here. This is the first time I'm going live on YouTube. And I have my computer on to make sure everything is going fine. But yeah, so I've been live on Facebook many times, Instagram. This is the first time on YouTube. And the reason is I now started seriously, posting on YouTube and doing more of those longer form videos because people are asking for more longer form videos than the shorts and the TikToks, etc. And those are fun, but people want to get a little deeper into it. And with YouTube, you have to get to 1,000 members. So thank you, all of you who have followed me, who have subscribed, because of you, I'm able to go live. I now have 1,000 followers, a little over, and I've been asking you throughout the month. So thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's see here. Bonnie's here. Hi, Bonnie. Sandra, some of you are from my membership. I have an art membership, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Anne, hello, Anne. Bonnie, Anne, Bailey, Sandra. Anybody else say hi? Sharon is here. Hi. Lorraine. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited you're here. Okay, so today we are going to do, some of you might know that I launched my free art course, and that's Gratitude Heart Journals. Many of you know I love gratitude. I love gratitude journals. I love art journaling and sketchbooking and all of that. It helps my actual work. And I know it will help yours too. So we art journal for many reasons. And the reason I started to seriously art journal was during the pandemic when I needed to heal myself and just not be as in my head and panicky. And that has continued, and I've been sharing it, and people have really resonated with it. But it has been going hand in hand with my art career and my paintings. So it really does take the edge off. It makes us feel more free. And I love exploring techniques, painting techniques, mixed media techniques that I explore in my actual paintings through the sketchbooks. So in my membership, it's called Grateful Palette. And that's what we do. We work in the journals, but I also show you how you can transform it into a painting or a larger piece or just on a different substrate. And sometimes you might just want to explore the journal itself. Make your own handmade journals or use a ready-made journal. Today, we are going to do Gratitude Heart Journals. So the free course that I offered last week is called Gratitude Heart Journals, and many of you joined. I have 375 people signed up for that free course. Thank you so much. Please leave your feedbacks. I've been hearing feedback. I've seen a couple of your images, so please post, please tag me or email them to me. I'd love to see and share it as well. So I'm going to do an example from that course where we're using a technique that I love and I've used in many of my paintings. If you go online and look at my paintings, you can see some of that technique. Now, I love collage. So this is a mixed media collage exercise. And it's a way we're learning about monochromatic, one color, monochromatic schemes, which are quite visually appealing, and they're quite easy to use as well because you have one color and you're thinking of value, light to dark. We're also going to talk about negative and positive shape and space. So important when you're working on a painting or anything. So we're using a lot of the techniques in our journals that you use if you want to transform to a bigger painting. So we're going to dive right into that and we'll talk about these elements. Okay, so I'm going to, if there are any questions, let me see, ask me any questions you have. Oh, Marie is here from subscribing to my newsletter. Thank you. Anybody who's new to me, feel free to subscribe to my newsletter. And also, if you haven't, still trying to use this. If you haven't started, if you haven't downloaded or signed up for the free course, you can do so. In the information below, I have a link to that. All right, I will start. I just want to see if anybody else had anything else to say. Hello from Sweden, Eva. Thanks for joining us from Sweden. Malta, yes, Lorraine. Oh yes, Lorraine, I remember your comments from my YouTube video, the black and white. I'm actually going to do a black and white one here today. So I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm going to switch over my camera and we're going to begin. If you have any questions, can you put like a Q or questions so I'll look in after because I'm not going to be able to see the questions. In between, I can stop and kind of scroll through. But I hope you're all ready. So now I'm just going to flip my camera. Oops, there. Blinded you with my light. Okay, so I am working in this little journal. I love it. Somebody was asking me what it is. It's a Muji. The brand is Muji. This is like 4x6. I find it so, now I'm not intimidated because it is small. I can do a lot all at once. I can do a whole spread in a few minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And I really can just go through the pages quickly. I'm not taking myself too seriously. I can pop this in my pocketbook, my handbag. I can take it with me, you know. And then, of course, you have other ones. You can have your larger ones that you go more in depth. But, so let me show you some quick examples. In my free art course, I do gratitude heart journal. So it's my gratitude journal, but I've been doing this technique where I lay down collage. Now, many of you said you've never worked in this fashion before, laying down the whole thing with collage. And what I like to call this, when I teach, I tell my students, I paint with paper. Oh, I'm seeing some of the messages here. Hello from Germany. Claudia, you're from Germany. Thank you for joining us. Nice. And I saw Bonnie said something. I have a one-page journal to my sister-in-law as part of a birthday gift yesterday, and she loved it. Oh, you gave your sister one-page journal. Yes. These can be given as gifts. Like you can do it on a sheet of paper. You can make a card out of it. Some of my members in the Grateful Palette membership, they have made many of the lessons that I've done in there into cards. And one of my members actually sent me a Christmas card. I got it in the mail last week, and it was one of the things we did in the lessons. So that warmed my heart. These can be taken into so many different. So this is one of the exercises that I did in the Gratitude Heart Journal free course. So we're talking about monochromatic, one color, a variation of one color. So this is green. We have here reds. So you can think of hot colors, reds and oranges and yellows, etc. Right? So either one color variation, light and dark of one color, or you could think of it as, you know, the warm colors on the color wheel or the cool colors. Here I have blues, variation of blues. Now this is going to be our background. Okay, so this is torn paper. Right? So I'm just giving you an example of so many of my Gratitude Heart journals. We need more love in the world. Here are my favorite black and white ones. And this was a cover I did using the same technique. Okay? So we're going to talk about the one color, we're going to talk about negative and positive space, and we're going to talk about how we're going to put it all together. So these are just some examples. Okay, now this is my book. I'm going to start. So if all of you who are with me today and you are working along, I hope you're playing along with me. You are playing along with me and we are going to start. I hope you have chosen your one color. So as I showed you the examples here, you choose one color and collect all of your materials, all of your papers of that variation of one color. So let me show you examples of what I do. I love doing this. Somebody commented on the free course yesterday, a few days ago, I saw it yesterday, and she said all of her papers are mixed up and jumbled, but she's excited to start piecing them together. And I told her all of mine used to be like that until I started to do this and having containers with different ones, right, with different colors. So these are like my reds, oranges, etc. You wouldn't believe how calming that is. Just having a stack of papers and then having your containers and just piecing the reds, the oranges in there, the blues, the greens. Sit down watching TV, listening to a podcast. You would be amazed. And at the end, you feel so fulfilled because like, wow, that looks so nice. Everything is, so that's why I say I'm painting with paper because these are palettes. These are my palettes, right? I have a green ones, orange ones, blues ones, blue ones, blues ones, and my favorite, the black and white. So today I'm going to be using black and white. So have any of you who are working with me today, did you choose your color? Loretta is here from my membership. Thank you. Oh, I just love all my membership people are here. Okay, so anybody chose their color or you're just watching today? It would be nice you could work along with me. So just to give you a little idea of your papers, any paper you can find. Remember, oh, Lorraine is yellow. Claudia is green. Lovely. So you're getting variations of those colors. I'm using black and white. Of course, I can go into the whole thing. Black and white are not colors. Black is the absence of color. White, if you think of white light, it's all the colors in the spectrum. But we are just seeing it as part of the pigment. So I'm using black and white pigment as one of them. So you can choose any of your colors, variations. Some of my colors sneaking in there. Now, a lot of my colors are a lot of my papers, collage papers, are painted. Now, I have some YouTube videos, black and white, Elaine is doing black and white. I have YouTube videos where I am using these papers and I am creating them with found objects. So I'm creating collage papers with traditional and non-traditional. So if you look on my YouTube after, there's one with how to make papers with non-traditional tools. This is non-traditional tools. This is my paint cap, the top of one of my craft paints, and I just dipped it in the paint and dab, dab, dab. This was a stamp. No, this was actually a sponge on the stick. Sponge, sponge, sponge. Anyway, so I just go ahead and make tons of these. I also use just regular paper. This was actually an envelope. I use scrapbooking paper. So I have a black and white pad with scrapbooking paper. So I have patterned paper. I have tissue paper. Just collect anything. Go through your junk mail and see what colors are in there and use them, right? So these are all of my black and white. I'm just going to piece them together, and that's what I'm making my collage with. Okay, time for glue. I said use any glue that you have. Okay? Put this, sorry about that. I was trying to put the camera higher. Okay. So use any glue you have. So you can use your stick glue. You can use, one time I didn't have glue, and I tell people, use what you have around. And I used my husband's puzzle glue. And he was watching the live one day, and he was like, he wrote in the comments, that's where my puzzle glue went to. I was looking for it. So use what you have around, your kids' glue, etc. What I do like to use, I like to use more of a liquid or a glue where I can apply with a brush. Okay, so I apply it with a brush. So I use matte medium in my work. I use it in my paintings. It's a little more expensive, so you don't have to use it in your journals. You can definitely use your school glue, the white glue, white Elmer's glue, etc. Okay, and then you place it on. All right, I would suggest use older brushes for any kind of glue that you're applying with the brush. Now, if you have stick glue, that's fine. I would say take your stick glue and, go through a larger area and then start piecing down. For me, I like to get a large area first. So this is my white, so this is not white glue. You can use white glue. This is my acrylic medium. And I'm just going to put some down in an area. And I work quickly like this. And I like to work with the paintbrush because when I put down a layer of my paper, I like to do a layer of the glue on top to make sure it's flattened. Now I just go, I do not take myself serious. I do not overthink. I just start putting down. And that's why I like the small paper, because actually I can put glue on the whole thing and just go around. Now, I'm going to say this. In the free course that I give, Gratitude Art Heart Journals, I gave you 3 different options. The first one was organic, where you're just tearing it. I'm just tearing it. I love just tearing. The second one was where you cut it, okay? So the first one was tearing it. Let me just show you. This was the first one I did, green, as you can see. Torn paper all through. The second one, I cut the paper like in squares, rectangles, and I pieced it together, just putting it together. It's like a patchwork, and it's also like a mosaic. So you can decide what kind of effect you want. Today, I'm doing organic. So I am tearing, ripping the paper. And the third one I did, which was my black and white, was strips. So you can strip your paper, right? You can have it horizontal, landscape like this, or I did that at an angle. Diagonal lines are always movement lines. They always make me feel like they're moving. Okay, but today I am ripping mine. So you decide. So people have already told me what colors they're using. You can now tell me, what have you decided? Have you decided to do the organic ones where you're ripping the page, the paper? Or are you doing the ones where you're cutting it like a mosaic? And what I like to do with these, I like to overlap them so there's no white of the paper behind. As you can see, as I put it down, I'm putting a little layer on top. Okay, so Anne says she's ripping. Bailey, organic, great. And all of these are so therapeutic. Claudia says ripping. Loretta, combination of ripped and cut. Thank you, Loretta. I love that. Yes, you can definitely use a combination. That is lovely. And just remember to, make it evenly all the way through. Rip and cut. Yeah, definitely. So here's mine. So it's a small book, so I'm just going to put my glue all through and just go from left to right. And when you work like this is a background. You really don't have to overthink where you're putting it. Of course, if you have certain patterns, you wouldn't want, I'm not going to put a bunch all together unless I'm repeating it somewhere else. So just kind of evenly put. So I would use one. So like how I'm using, this is tissue paper. I'm kind of spreading it out throughout. And then I'll go with another piece and spread it out throughout. And then another piece there, these circles, I love that. Okay, what else? Another one of these dark. And you're just piecing and going, piecing and going. And this part of the exercise is wonderful because that left brain cannot jump in and start criticizing you. You can't go wrong with this. You cannot go wrong with this. You're ripping, you're tearing, you're placing, and you're making it as even. You're making it even all through. So you really can't go wrong with it. You're painting with paper. I've heard a lot of people, one time I did this, and really, people love this exercise so much. I did it on a summit, and that's where I knew a lot of you from, and you followed me. And some people told me at first when they saw this exercise, they said, nah, that's not for me. I don't like collage, and I don't want to collage the whole thing piecing together like that. And then they did it, and they fell in love, and they just kept making and making. And the thing about this exercise is that even though I take it into a different direction when I do the negative painting and negative and positive, many people just love the effects they get from just, doing the background. Many of them, they do the whole background, and then they're like, I don't want to touch it. They become precious with the piece, and they don't want to touch it. And that was something in art school we learned right away. The professor's like, don't be precious with your work. But guess what? It's okay to be, especially in your journals, because guess what? You can turn the page, do another one. And they always encourage us in school to do many of something. So I always got into that habit of doing many. And because I do many, I don't become precious. Even like if I'm working toward an exhibition, a solo exhibition or something, and I need to do 10 pieces, I know I'm going to do like 15. And it's not like an overachiever thing. I want to express myself. If I have an idea in one, I bring it to the next, and I'm just working. And then I can choose the best at the end. So this is the case for me where more is more. So sometimes you really cannot be precious with the work because you're not going to be able to grow. But if you do more, you can do. But many times my students would do these and they see the background and they're just like, I don't want to touch it. It's so lovely. And the next step that I'm going to do, many students are like, no, don't cover it up. Because you're going to cover up some of this. You're going to cover up some of it. So just to prepare you, if you haven't done this exercise yet. Okay, so how is it going for those who are working along? Diane is using yellow and doing organic. Good. Okay, so what kind of papers do you guys have? Do all of you have? What are you working with? So I'm working with some pattern tissue, some pattern scrapbooking paper, magazine paper I think I have under here, a lot of painted paper that I've done myself. And if you think you haven't, you don't have a lot of magazines. You don't have any scrapbook paper. You don't have any tissue paper. Please don't think you can't do the exercise because guess what? Do you have paper or any kind of scrap paper and do you have paint? You take that color and you just paint it. With your paintbrush, paint it, dot and dab. You stamp it with anything you have around. You might have stamps or you might use a sponge. I've done sponging, right? So all of these are stuff that I created on my own. As I said, the tops of my paint, dot, 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 all the way through. This was an actual ready-made stamp. And I showed you this one with the sponge. This one, oh, look at this one. This was, I put dots of black and white, and I took my paint. I took an old credit card and swiped it. So this is paint scraping on a book page. Look at the text behind there. See? So if you don't have enough right now, you could just make some papers. This is a stencil on a paper. Right now, you can just quickly throw some paint on a page, dab it, use a sponge, right? Okay, I saw that somebody said something. Diana said Kleenex boxes, magazine paper, painted paper, construction paper, wrapping paper. Oh yes, all of it, all of it. Wrapping paper is nice too, especially now we're in Christmas. You can steal a little bit of your wrapping paper stash. If it goes with your color scheme, you get a little bling in there. I love that. I had some lovely silver. I like to use silver with my black and whites. I don't see it here. So now we're just filling in, making sure, look at that flap here, making sure everything is glued down. And that's why I like using the paintbrush, makes everything as flat, and also it's quicker too. But of course, if you don't have it, you don't have to. This is from a magazine. But again, it goes with my color scheme. And then you just want to fill it in. Take your time, fill it in. Tearing, ripping, cutting, stripping and strips. The ones with the strips really give a lovely effect because you're getting, you're creating a pattern. So you have pattern paper too, but you're also creating a pattern with the stripes and the strips. Just going through all my papers, seeing what else I have. I like the tissue papers too because they're see-through. So sometimes you could overlap some areas. Okay, if you have any questions at this point, you can ask me and I will look out for them. There's a little delay. So, yeah, so just ask me and I will soon see it. Okay. Ooh, Marie, I love that idea. Marie says, ooh, I think I'm going to collage on the front end. Where is it? I lost it. On the front and back cover of an old book. I am turning into a notebook for my sibling-in-law. Lovely. That's a great idea. And so that's what I did with this one. This is my a journal, my black and white journal. Some of you have seen this in the YouTube. I've been doing black and white spreads. So this is my cover. And I did the exact same thing. I just used strips. So you can use it on a book. I did front and back. You can use it on a book. You can use it on a card. You can cover something that you don't like. You know what my sister did? She actually covered an old table, an old wooden table, with the paper collage. And then she sealed it well with the glue and with lacquer, etc. And it's still going good. It kept all its color. She did a bunch of that. She did, tables. She did a wall hanging. I mean, she did tons. You can cover anything. You have something old that you got on the side of the street, an old cabinet or something, and you want to jazz it up. Great idea. And yes, it's paper, but if you seal it well, it will stay. And this, what I'm using, the acrylic medium, is very good. as a glue as well as protecting. Because I use this on my paintings to protect it at the end. So I use it as a glue and also as a sealant and to protect it as a finishing touch. You can get it in matte. So this is a matte one, so not glossy. And I also have a big tub of glossy that I give a few coats onto my larger paintings. So they have a little glossy. You can get medium glossy and full. I do love a glossy. I love a bling. And I always say this, like in school, in art school, my professors would be like, you know, Alison, everything doesn't have to be glossy, you know. So I held back on the gloss. But as soon as I graduated, guess what I did? Every painting was high gloss. But then I did cool back on it because sometimes I forget that I needed to take photos of it first because it is really hard to take proper photos when it's high gloss. But it looks so beautiful. I love that feel. But you could find a nice happy medium. The medium gloss. You don't have to go high. All right. And you know, you could take your time and fill in different areas. But right now, I think I'm done with mine. And I'm just going to give it a nice little, anywhere that you see gaps, just fill in the gap. Just want everything to lay down. That's why I like to use a brush. Now, if you don't have an old brush and you're using one of your regular brushes, make sure and wash this out properly with soap because it will dry hard, just like acrylic paint, because it is acrylic. That's the base they use in acrylic. I'm going to put something right here. Okay, so we've done the first section. So some of you are working on different substrates. So substrates are what you're working on, what you're putting the collage on. Mine is my journal. Some of you are using a book, book cover, you're covering a book. Some of you are using journals. If you don't have any journals or sketchbook, you can use just a piece of paper or a heavier piece of paper like a watercolor paper, cardstock, right? Because you can turn it into things as well. Look at that. So on its own, it's just beautiful. And I know, you know, you can sit and just do a few of these. Let that dry, get another book, do another color. Let that dry, get another book, do another color. All of these started like this. So I had the full green. I had the full reds and oranges. And you can see the actual collage pieces here. What I did is I paint around it. And that's when we start talking about negative and positive push and pull. It's brilliant in your paintings when you start playing with negative and positive because it's like a trick of the eye and it does so many things. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do some negative painting. So I'm going to come up with my shape. We're doing hearts. So it's my heart, my gratitude heart journals. But you can do any shape you want. But I want to do hearts because that's what my course is about. You can cut out a heart and stick it on like this one. And that is negative and positive. This is a positive shape that is stuck onto my background. My background becomes the negative space around. Okay? This here, I cut into the heart. So I have part of it out here, which is a positive shape. Inside that is positive is actually the background peeking through. So you see how the shift it plays on your eyes. It's a trick of the eye, an illusion, optical illusions. I love optical illusions in painting and in my artwork. Okay, at this point, I want to do a heart. So you can do one big one. I've done a lot of big ones. You can do a smaller one. And yes, you do have to cover up some of your collage, your beautiful collage, right? You can make it as big as possible if you don't want to cover up too much. And look at how big I made this one, right? And I usually would just go in cardstock and in the, I have a piece of card here. In my course, I just did a simple heart. You know, we all learned this in school. You fold a piece of paper, this is an old cardstock, and you draw your heart. You draw one side of the heart. And then when you cut it, you get even on both sides. And that's what I did for the course. Now, what I'm doing, this is just like a stencil, a mask. The mask is a positive part of your stencil. So I'm doing that just to talk about it. This is my positive shape, and this is my negative shape. Your hand could go through, this is your negative shape. Positive. So you can do that, and then you can trace, right? So you can trace where you want this heart to be. What I'm going to do today, because I did that in the exercise, but I think I want to do like 2 hearts. So you could cut out 2 hearts, or you can wing it, and you can freehand your heart, draw your heart. Now, at this stage, I would say if you have a heat gun, you can blast it, right? I would like to do that, but I don't want to blast your ears right now. And I've seen people do lives where they do it, and they're able to mute it. And I could probably do that here, but I'm not too sure. Mute microphone, maybe I could do that. But no, let's not, because then I have to go, I didn't bring it out. But let's see how far you guys have come. Okay, any questions? Yes, Lisa has a question. Do you ever slip in some fabric into your collage? Ooh, yes, I do sometimes. I am more of a paper girl, but I got a donation of a set of fabric. And so, yes, you can as well. You might need a heavier. I like to use the light ones because then I could still use the sheer material or light material. Then I can still use my acrylic medium. But when you get into the heavier stuff, you might need to use heavier glue. But yes, why not? Add that into your palette. Definitely add that into your palette. You know what I love adding into? Lace. And sometimes I might do that at the end, or just kind of like a border or something. But I don't really do as much within. But yes, I do want to explore that some more. Anybody has ever done this with adding in some of your materials and fabrics into your paper collages? All right, anybody else? Any questions? Okay, so ideally I would have this dried, but it's still a little damp, but I can still go with the flow with this. Now, let me see. So I'm going to draw it out. So you can draw it out. You can use your stencil, right? And just trace it. Use something that you can see. Sometimes I use chalk, or I might just use my pen or pencil because I'm painting over it. But you may not always be able to see it. And then you're going to go in with a color. Now, you're going to go in with a color that's part of your color scheme. You have one color, okay? So, whatever your one color is, around could be darker or lighter, or it could be both. This one, I decided to do a little light at the top and dark at the bottom. Did that for a few of them, right? So these are the colors. So choose. So in this one, I could have choose orange. I could have choose white if you wanted, and then tint it or leave it white. I could have used more of this kind of tone. So choose a tone that's in there and use that as your negative painting around, okay? All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it up a little bit, where I'm going to draw. This is going to be hard because it's wet. I'm going to freehand, and I want a wonky kind of heart. All right, so keep going. I think I might have to dry this a little bit. It's still a little damp. Let me get my dryer. Okay, I have my dryer, and I think I found a part that says mute microphone. I'm gonna try it. This is my first time on YouTube, so I'm trying it. I'm muting the microphone. Now, let's, I'm afraid to mute it, and then I can't unmute, and then you don't hear me. We're gonna try something. Okay. Yay, mute. Thank you for the confirmation. All of you said that muted worked. Great, muted worked. Yay. Okay, so this is a little drier. So, I have no patience with this. So I have to dry it. And especially if I have you here, I don't want to take up your time. So we dried it quickly. Now, if you don't, that's a heat gun. They're inexpensive online, but you could use your hair dryer. My hair dryer at home actually is even better than this. It just blasts it. That would have been done in half the time, Okay, and so then I can draw. So I can draw with this, but the colors I'm using are dark, so I may not see my pen. What I like to use is a little piece of chalk, or you can use a marker or something. Okay, I have some chalk. All right, so mine, I'm switching. Every time I do one, I make it a little different. So instead of just doing one heart and doing a heart that's even on both sides, but of course you can definitely do this. All of mine were even ones. All of the hearts I've done so far were even. So I'm switching it up. And I'm going to make a kind of a wonky one where one side is bigger than the other. Skinny. I'm going to make two. I'm just freehanding this one. The others I didn't. So it's up to you. So can you see that a bit? I'm going to do two. You wrote on your wet paper. So you have to be careful because the pens will not work and they will spoil. Yeah, I've done that many a time. Okay, so at this point what can I do? I can do black and I can do white. Because remember, we're painting the negative space. This is a great exercise with positive and negative. So I have my black paint. I have some white here as well. You know what I think I might do? Oh my gosh. Maybe I have two hearts, so maybe one side will be black, one side will be white. And maybe I could do a little gray in between. I don't know, but I'm going to put that out and see. I'm going to use my same brush that I use with the acrylic medium. Because remember, acrylic medium is acrylic. It's without the pigment. And I'm just going to go right in. Now, look at this. This side seems a little lighter, doesn't it? The lighter colors here seems a little darker. So I feel like if I put the light, it's going to kind of clash with it. Now, this is where you work back and forth. Some areas were light, and so the darker area worked. Also, you're free to put an outline. So an outline will definitely clear that up. I'm going to put the light one here on this side. So here I go. Now this is the next step. We learned about monochromatic. We learned about painting with paper on your background. Now negative and positive. So negative space, I would say, is the background. That's our background. I'm painting my negative space right now. Now look at my paint. You know, and I don't have any water here, but guess what? You can use acrylic medium to thin out your paint. Isn't that lovely too? Now, I'm just showing you the brushes I have. I like to do this side because my book is small, so I really don't need a large brush because I might go into my positive shape. And I have a little one here as well. So the little one can go right on the edge. Now, the more acrylic medium you use in your paint is the more transparent it is. So if you want it kind of transparent, you can do that. Just like if you put more water on your brush, you know. And so I have done that many times because I don't want to kind of lose my background. So sometimes I would, and sometimes I wouldn't. I like to make it more opaque at the edge to create that contrast of value. Contrast, light and dark. It creates a line. I don't even have to draw a line. It's creating a line because I'm shifting from darker value to lighter value. Great. So I want to hear some feedback from some of you. Have you done this exercise before? Or if you're doing it now, how does it feel painting over some of that collage background? Because I know for some people, it doesn't feel good. It's like, I don't want to hide the beautiful collage. I think I'm going to spoil it. You know, and that's the thing with art. You have to take a risk or else you wouldn't grow. You have to take, and then sometimes you take risks and it doesn't work. And you're like, oh, it is kind of a little bit of a challenge, but when you take that risk and you start to see what happens, it's like, oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. So any of you felt this way when you did an exercise or even now? You could let me know in the comments. Okay, on the other side, I think I want to do the black. As I say, every time I do this, I want to do a little different. This is the first time I'm doing one of those wonky hearts, you know, not symmetrical, because I usually fold the paper and do the symmetrical one. And this is also the first time I'm doing one side with the black, one side with the white. And you can do the same too. Oh, also, I wanted to say, I love doing double spreads, back and forth like that. You can just do one side. And I love doing a double spread because my journal is so small. So I can do a double spread easily. It doesn't take a long time. And it also challenges me. Ooh, I almost missed where my outline is. But of course you can change it as it goes along. That's cool. My line is here, but I kind of created this line here. And maybe I just keep it. Look at that. Almost like a yin and yang. I had some white here, but I'm going in with it, and it's creating a gray. And I'm just going to grade it into that white. Going as I, you know, look at that. I love it. Let me just clean this up. Look at that edge. We are creating an edge, an outline. I love teaching this without drawing a line. And no, some of them I do draw a line and I like it. I do. But I want you to know that you can totally create that edge. You're creating the line. We didn't draw a line, but because we had a light value adjacent to a dark value, it creates its own line. And that's amazing. Look at that. Right? So, good. Any questions? What kind of questions do you have? Or what are you doing right now that you are experiencing? And I would love to know your thoughts on covering up that negative space. Oh, you did it on the sketchbook? Yes, sketchbook revival. That's where I taught it. I got so much feedback that I decided to do a whole course on it and offer it for free. So I really enjoyed that. And you can see how you can take this on so many different levels. Hi, Gwen from Southern California. Sketchbook revival. Yes, I taught this exact lesson on sketchbook revival, a little different. And you can change it up on so many ways. Keep going with it and try new things. Okay, so let me dry this and then I can start thinking about my text, my gratitude text. I could start thinking about if I want to add anything, if I want to actually outline, if I wanted to outline. You know, you're free to do that. And then embellish. And it takes it to the next level. So that's excellent. Okay, so I'm going to mute for a while and dry it again. I want to hear some feedback. Have you ever tried using an emerald green? Oh. Live chat. I'm hearing stuff. It seems like there's protests on the street. I'm hearing people on the street. Have you ever tried using an emerald green? Cancel. I don't know. It keeps fading on me. Emerald green or royal blue with the black and white. That would be lovely. Oops, I didn't mute. That would be nice. Okay, I'm back. And so what we're going to do, I don't know if you're hearing. So there like protests or a parade going outside my street. So I don't know if you're hearing it, but I am hearing it. It sounds loud. But I will just talk loud into here and you will hear me. So I'm trying to ignore it from inside my gallery here. So at this point, and you know, someone was asking me, let me see who it was. Diana was saying, have you ever tried royal emerald green with the blue? That's excellent. My thing with this here, I wanted to just do monochromatic using one color of variation, but definitely add a little of another color. I love that. The royal blue would look great with the black. I love little touches of red with black and white as well. So yeah, there's no rule. I just wanted to teach the concept of monochromatic, one color. But as you could see, in some of my monochromatics, I go over. So this started as blue, but they had some oranges in there. And orange and blue are opposite. You're hearing it, Sandra? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just going to go with the flow. I don't know how long it is. I see a lot of people. I don't know what it's about, but we will see. Yes. What are they? Sunday and they're out. Okay. So then we have our oranges. Look at a little bit of green came in here. So I'm teaching about monochromatic, but you do not have to stick to it. It starts there, but I always love to add in a little something, especially the complement of a color. The complement of red is green. And so we have pinks and oranges, and we have a little teal there, which is a bluish green. And so that's always great. When you look at some of the old masters, the Impressionists did that. They would have monochromatic paintings, but it would be like an all blue painting. And then you will always see a little touch of orange somewhere. It enhances it, and it really energizes the whole piece. Oh, you're hearing the noise? Oh my gosh. It's a protest right on my street. So I can't see any of the picket signs, so I don't know what it's about. I didn't know anything about it. I guess it adds another element to our life. Okay, at this point, okay, so you could, I collect gratitude quotes. I go online and I print them out. I also sometimes collect from a book. Oh yes, they're over now. They're gone past the street. Okay, we're back. This is from a Louise Hay positive affirmation book. So I cut down all those positive affirmations, gratitude, quotes, everything. I go online. So this one I liked because right now I feel it's good to slow down. A lot of people are saying it's slow. I find gratitude for the opportunity to slow down, reflect, and appreciate the beauty that surrounds me. I also have some other smaller ones. Maybe I might want a smaller one because my book is small. I like this. You cannot do kindness too soon because you never know how soon it will be too late. Which other ones do I have? And I usually have a few that I use all the time. What's this? Gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. I'm going to do the slow down one because a lot of people talk about that now. And I am trying to take my own advice, really, to slow down. And this is a season where we speed up, right? Okay. And so what I like to do, I just like to play around with where I'm going to put my words, my lettering. You don't have to do lettering. You can do a stamp with one word. You can do an affirmation. You can do a quote. And you just decide where you're going to snip it and what's it going to be. So when you do a whole series of this, they'll really look beautiful. As I showed you some of those that I did before. So I just cut my quotes. Now, of course, you can use your handwriting. And you feel where you would like to place it and how you would like to separate it. And just place it down. You can use, yes, if you have a nice handwriting that you like for the opportunity. So this is just really beautiful. I have done this in my work many times. I'm going to do a course also that will take this to the next level, where we're using this. We're not necessarily going to be doing hearts, but the heart motif. I love the heart motif because it's love, right? And it's a good positive message. I love the shape of the heart and how you can change. Look at the wonky heart. I love that, organic, etc. But the heart is also a very simple shape for people to understand. This looks like a really easy exercise, but if you start with a more complicated shape, many times I've taught this and students get confused as one thing overlaps the other, and their negative and positive then starts to become something else, right? But when you do it like this, you really understand that negative and positive, then you go to the next level and the next level, and you can really embellish and create this into something. Okay, I find gratitude for the opportunity to slow down, reflect, and where was the other one I have? Okay. And of course, use your handwriting. Who here has good handwriting or calligraphy? I try and practice. I go online and just practice calligraphy. I really love it. I have to get a special pen. I'm overlapping the hearts. I kind of like that. And you just decide where to put. Great. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my membership. Now the membership all started with my great gratitude journals. And so we do a lot of journal exercises in there, but we can take it to the canvas. It's all a matter of exploring and expressing. I would love if any of my Grateful Palette members are here. If you can, tell me one thing that you really like about it. Like some of the things people have been telling me is that they don't take themselves too seriously. Many of them might be their actual medium or something that they really love to do might be something else. And it is nice to be able to explore a different medium where they can really just play and not take themselves serious. Someone in our group said she is a color pencil artist. So she's very precise in what she does, and she's, explored it, and she's an expert in it. But doing these mixed media collages and other things really just gives her joy, fun, and it gives her a whole new concept, an idea. And the same with me too. So I studied art, painting at college, traditional painting, but I really developed like collaging and mixed media on my own through experimentation, through exploration, and it is just really helped me to dive into it. These journals have made my paintings better. So this is, the point of the membership is to explore yourself, go further without feeling overwhelmed, bite-sized tutorials, as well as community. It's lovely to have a community. Sometimes people, like when I think of in the spiritual community, they say they create a space because they needed it so much. And they created a space and because they realized other people needed it. The same thing for me. Because I started to do these journals, people are like, hey, what are you doing? This is great, these gratitude journals. Because I'm giving gratitude. Every time I give gratitude, the stress falls off. It's magical. So it's nice to be able to be in a community where you can express yourself through the work. And we also meet live once a month so we can show what we've done, or we just play along in our journals, learn things. Every month I give a theme, I give a color scheme, which really helped because before, I never did that before. I had a membership before on another platform and it was great, but it's something when you have a little direction. Now you don't have to stick to it, but when you have a theme, a color scheme, and then you're going toward it, just like today, we had a theme. Today we had a color scheme. Sandra said it encourages me to try explore things I wouldn't normally think of doing. Yay! Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. So some of my Grateful Palette members are here today, and I really appreciate if you could tell me a little bit of what helps you, what you like about it. And for me, what I like, it's just there's a community where I can express myself. So I'm teaching, but I'm also learning. It's interesting when I teach one thing and a student or a member will then see it in another way. We all see things differently, and then their execution of it is totally different. I love that. And it's like, wow, look at this, look at that. So what I'm giving you is stepping stones. I'm giving you a foundation. So if you ever want to join me, the doors open and close. So I opened the doors in September. We have a nice group, and the doors are open right now. I have a link in the description lower down. So I have a link to the free course if you haven't signed up for the free course. But I also have a link to the membership. So if you would like to join, the membership in September was for founding members, founding member rate of $19 a month. And that closed, and I was going to raise it again the next time I open it. But I decided I'm leaving it as a founding members because we're still in 2023. Let's end 2023 strong and start 2024 strong. So the doors are open to the membership, and it's still $19 a month. And you get a lot. You get community, you get camaraderie. And as I said, I do lessons. So I have tutorials. I do 3 tutorials. We do a technique. I do some of my painting techniques that I use in my paintings. We do that with collage papers. So we're gathering collage papers. We make a gratitude journal spread. I started to now do the 1-page journal. So we're doing an actual journal each month, which is really easy, but then you're allowing yourself to just take your time. Take your time and do it at your own pace. There's no homework. And when we come in live, it's not like, somebody said, oh, I haven't done any of the lessons yet. No, there's no homework, nothing. If you want to come in the lives, and that's when we do the exercises, we can do that. And I love that. I love that. So it's just a matter of just feeling free, expressing yourself, learning new things, and exploring it. Sharon says, it's helping me to explore the artist I always knew was in me. Oh, I love that. We all know we have an artist in us, but if we didn't pursue it in the traditional way, like I did, going to school and stuff, we might think, oh no, well, I'm not. I always say, if you are making art, you're an artist. If you are doing a little something and creating things, being creative, you are. And so, yes, it does open your mind. And when you can see some of the things, when I teach people, I try to teach them as simple as possible. And they're like, wow, that was easy. And then I can take this to this level. And then I can take it to that level. It's amazing to see, because then they're like, wait a minute, I can do that. Many times we think we cannot do these things because, only the artists, the big names, etc. And then when you realize you can do it, there's no stopping you. And so I think that's why it's nice to have a community like that. Let me see. Diana said, this is a very supportive community and you don't mind sharing. Allison and other members do things you haven't thought of before. Oh, great. Yes. And some of you do things I haven't thought of before too, and I love it. And you're taking my instruction and you're going with it. I love to see that. And it really just makes people feel like they're comfortable. They can make, they can make something. They can use their ideas. And so I really love hearing this feedback. Thank you, all of you. So if anybody wants to join us, feel free to do so, because the doors do close, just so that I can keep it, manageable when people are in the group and I can get to know everybody. And if it's just constantly open, people come in at different times and they might feel lost or not, but if they all come in at different times in a group, then they meet the other group and then we learn each other. And then I don't have to constantly keep it open and advertise it. I can just focus on you, focus on each month's theme, and we can express ourselves. So, anything else? Oh, Loretta, I didn't see this one. After 20 years of watercolor, I love the challenge and freedom of mixed media. It has changed my style and learning to relax and not worry. The chats always disappear on me. They fade out, and not worry about making it perfect for exhibit. Yes. So this, yeah. So Loretta is in my membership too. Thank you, Loretta, for sharing that. It's so true. So she does watercolor, and we all know watercolor is challenging and very precise. It's a very different way, and I love it as well. But it's totally opposite to mixed media, where I can change my mind and cover things up, right? So it's a different side of the brain she's using, and she's exploring in different ways. And guess what? Doing this kind of work may even improve for watercolors. Because for me, when I step out of my comfort zone and do something else, it improves what I'm already doing well. I'm seeing it in a different way. Okay, so this is mine. And I would love to see, you can email me yours. You can post it on my Instagram or in the Facebook groups that I have, which is the free Facebook group that is Mixed Media Art Journal with Allison Wells. Mixed Media Gratitude Art Journals with Allison Wells. Okay, so just to finish this up here, that's it. Sometimes I like to put a black border in the areas that are lighter, but I don't need to do that here. Let me just glue that down. And then here, what you do, you could just embellish. So you can, you know, what I did with this one was dipping it into paint. So this is my, I can't find another one. So this is my glue stick. I wouldn't suggest you do that with the working glue stick, but this messy artist does it. So I'm just showing you how you can embellish this. And I did it for this one. And look at that. See? You can do a stamp, a ready-made stamp. If you don't have a ready-made stamp, you see, I love to use found objects because then I can show you that you do not have to run out and get these ready-made things. It's always nice to have all the toys and trinkets, right? But you don't have to. I went into my black to do the same. And you can do a lot of things. And remember, it's busy, so I really don't want to overdo, okay? So you always know when to stop, but I do like the little circles there. When it's fully dry, I'm probably gonna go in with my paint pens, right? I'm gonna put some dots. I might outline or I might leave it. I like the outline here that it's creating itself, so I don't need to put that in. I might put a little bit of a black outline here to make that pop a bit. Might put a little outline on the lettering that's over the lighter part. I don't know. But also, that's another thing. Don't think that you always have to finish a spread right away. So I let this dry, and then I come in, and that's when I make it all pretty. I start doing all sorts of embellishment. Look at this one here. Circles. This was from a stencil. And then I took my white jelly pen, or a white thin pen, and I just did some scribbling, like, you know, like you're journaling. It's gibberish. It's not a real writing, but I just, you know, in areas that is going to contrast. Think about contrast a lot about it. Right? Now, I showed you my favorite one, which is my negative painting. Feel free, and this is much easier too, cutting out your shape and gluing it down. Or cutting a hole within a shape and gluing it down. All negative and positive. All negative and positive. All right. So let me turn back my camera. And I want to hear, did anybody work along with me? Did anybody play along with me? Hi. Oh, that was fun. Thank you for staying with me through the protests that went on, everything. So how did everything go? Let me see if I can see these chats. Thank you. Have to go. Thank you. Oh, Sandra, bye, Sandra. Yes, I was supposed to do an hour and I went past an hour. So any questions last minute as I wrap up? She used acrylic instead of water. She used gel medium. Yes, I did. I should have had my water palette, my water cup right there, and I didn't. And I didn't want to go in the back and do it, but I already have my gel medium. So that was a good way to teach you that you can use the gel medium in your pigment to thin it out. Actually, it's a better thing to do, like when you're working on paintings and stuff, it's a better thing to do because the gel medium is acrylic. It's acrylic without the pigment. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Yes, I was joining you all the way. I will do the acrylic later as I have to get them out. It was simply amazing. Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate it. Anybody has questions on what we did? So if you hadn't signed up for my free course, I have a free course and it's what we did here, Gratitude Heart Journals. It really is just giving you that step. You can then take it to the next level. You can then use another shape, not hearts. You can explore further. You can challenge yourself further, right? And so I'm really happy about that. Anybody has questions about my Grateful Palette community? So that's what my offers are right now. I don't have any paid courses. I have the free course, Gratitude Heart Journals, and I have a paid membership. It's not very expensive, $19 a month now. I'm opening the doors again in spring 2024, and it will go up. It will go up to about 25. So now is the time to join us. We have a lovely little group, and we go on once a month. All depending, if you want more than one live, you can ask me. Some people do like co-working where we're not even talking much. We're just working on our stuff, and then we might show and tell after. But once a month, I do an exercise from what the month was. So each month I have a theme, color scheme, gratitude journal, gratitude quotes. And I also have, sometimes I give journal prompts for some people who like to journal. So, because not everybody likes to journal, but some people do. And I sometimes journal behind my work, and then I paint on top of it. Or I have old journals, gratitude journals. I think I showed you that in the actual course that I did, the free course. And I rip it up. I paint them sometimes different colors and put them in the respective color jars. I rip it up and I put it into so it's infused in there. I hope I didn't miss, with the chat, it's so tricky. And if I missed, you can ask again, or you can send me a message if you're on YouTube, I'm on all of the platforms under Allison Wells Art. Allison Wells Art. My heart is painted open and will finish it. Okay, thank you. All right, did I miss any questions at all? Yes, the glue is still drying. You can use your hair dryer if you want. Use junk mail envelopes in black and white. Excellent. Just going through. Can you please tell us again what you use for the dark and light paint? Is it in acrylic? Yes, acrylic. So I use acrylic paint. You can get inexpensive acrylic paint too. The craft paint, I don't have any on my table, but the little tubes of craft paint, you could get it at Michael's, you could get it on Amazon. And so use what you have. These are your journals. So if you have some old watercolors, you have your kids' paint, tempera, use it. Especially for this exercise, we're not really painting that much. We're using like one color or two colors, really just for the background. Our collage is doing everything. So this is a mixed media collage. And I'm gonna play around with this a little more, give some more detail, pull things out. That's what I love to do. I do a dream collage for every year. I am thinking of using a collage background and using clouds to insert. I don't know why every time it fades. Collage background. Using clouds to insert my dreams. Oh, I love that. A dream collage. I've never heard that. Is it like a vision board? I would assume a similar kind of a vision board thing, but using your dreams. I love that. In the clouds. Yes. Oh, give me some ideas. And anybody in the group, we can do some of this fun stuff as well in our membership, along with, our themes, etc. But the new year is all new beginnings. So I love that. Okay, so that's it, I think. Thank you so much. I had for the highest I saw was 59 people came. That's the most I've ever had in a live. Thank you so much. My heart is booming. Like all my hearts are just booming right now. I appreciate you. I thank you. Most of you here, all of you, helped me to get to 1,000 so I can actually do a live on YouTube. I love it. I feel like more focused here, and it's not as people just swiping through. So you came here because you wanted to be here. I really appreciate. If you are not on my newsletter, I would love to invite you to be on my newsletter. For those who don't know, I own a gallery, an art gallery in downtown New Bedford, and it's called Allison Wells Fine Art Studio and Gallery. So sometimes I give updates about what's happening in the gallery. It's Christmas time now, so a lot of, holiday strolls and stuff. I sell my own artwork here, paintings, original paintings. I sell G-Clee prints and cards. I also have an online store. And then the other part of my business is teaching. Now, I've always taught. I went to school for fine art painting and art education. So I always taught at the college level, the high school level, after school programs, and now I teach person in my gallery. But I also, in the past 2 years, have been teaching online, and I love it because how can online is amazing. There were people in here from Scotland, from all over the world. In my membership right now, we have someone from Scotland, we have someone from the UK. And so the internet sometimes could be a bit much, but at other times it makes the world smaller, and brings us all together. So I love that. So please join me. So I give a lot of tips on my emails. I always tell you when I have a YouTube video. So if you would like to continue, if you like my teaching style, I have a lot of videos, free videos on YouTube, and I try and post every week, every 2 weeks, so you get new stuff. My newsletter you will get. I have the free course, my gratitude heart journals, the link is below. I also have something free I did last year, which people love, and it's a PDF guide of Gratitude Art Journals 101. So you can download that, read it, try it, and then do the actual course. And then I have my paid membership. And so I'm growing the membership. I really am enjoying it. I'm loving the community. If you love community, please join us. The doors close this Tuesday the 12th of December. You have 2 more days. So please join us if you would like. If not, you can find me on all the other platforms. Allison Wells Art. Okay, so I'm just going to see if there's any more questions, and then I'm going to hop off and let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Yes, great. All right, no more questions. Thank you, everyone. And I hope to see you. Please, if you did this exercise, please tag me on Instagram or Facebook, or if you're not on any of those, send me an email. Did I put my email? Maybe I'll add it on, but it's Alice. You could do it at admin at AllisonWells.com. I also have another one, AllisonWe@gmail.com. But do the admin one. It's not as overrun, and I'll see you right away. Admin at AllisonWells.com. And remember, Allison is with one L. Allison Wells with one L. So, okay, so that's it. Thank you. Everybody's telling me thank you. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Hope you have an excellent Sunday, and I will see you soon. I really appreciate you coming out here today and working with me, having a little artsy fun. Bye. See you.